So let's talk about visual designs. The visual design of a character, no matter if it's a villain or a hero, is very important to the character's appeal. Simply, if your villain looks cool, he's more appealing. A very boring or plain bad visual design can actually break a character. Of course, the visuals aren't everything, the character actually needs to be good too, but like I said, a cool design can help a lot. This list is all about visual designs, not character, so don't misinterpret this as a list of my 10 favorite villains. Although it would actually be pretty close to my top 10 villains, as I am very influenced by visual designs. This list was also extremely hard to make, as there are simply tons of comic book villains who look fantastic. Anyway, write down your top 10 favorite villain designs in the comments. And without further ado, here we go. Number 10. Dr. Doom. Now here's a character I've never talked about before at all. You might find that strange, considering old Doom here is one of Marvel's biggest villains. Well, the reason is I simply have not read that many stories with Doom. I've never been a big fan of the Fantastic Four, and besides appearing in hundreds of FF issues, Doom also appears in tons of Avengers issues, Spider-Man, Iron Man, his own series. I simply don't know where to begin, there's just too much. Now don't go suggesting the Books of Doom miniseries in the comments, because that's actually one of the few I have read. Anyway, despite the fact I'm not that well versed with the character, Doom is actually one of my favorite comic book villains. This is a lot due to his visual design. I just absolutely love Dr. Doom's awesome appearance. It's so comic booky, yet without being goofy in any way. In fact, Doom is pretty damn intimidating. A metal man cloaked in a green hood and cape. His metal mask hiding a disfigured face underneath. It's really cool looking and very reminiscent of the man in the Iron Mask. Green is my favorite color alongside purple, so naturally I approve of the Doctor's color scheme. It's a pretty simple color scheme too, silver and gold with the green dominating. There's nothing too intricate or complicated going on with Doom's visuals, and that's a great thing. It's simple but very effective. It also neatly blends a sort of medieval style with a sci-fi look, which is obviously perfect for the character. Number 9. The Lizard. My second favorite Spider-Man villain. Part of why I love Kurt Connors so much is because of his awesome design. I'm probably gonna say the words awesome and cool a lot in this video, because how else can you describe these awesome and cool visuals? Anyway, the lizard sure is awesome and cool looking. A green monster reptile man. I like the type of lizard design they went with too. The shape of his head and snout. His very human and slim figure. He's not a massive bulky dinosaur, and you really get the feeling he used to be a man. Of course, what really sells the lizard design is his outfit, a tattered white lab coat. I love the fact Connor still wears this lab coat even after he's become the lizard. Without it, he would have been just another reptile man. A cool looking one for sure, but not really anything special. There's so many reptilian characters in fiction. It's a pretty common visual, but Connor stands out among the crowd because of his outfit. When you see this guy, you immediately want to know what's going on here. Why is this reptile monster wearing a lab coat? It obviously also works as a nod to his humanity. And yeah, let's not forget the purple pants. So we've got purple and green, an awesome reptilian design, and a white lab coat. What's not to love about the lizard's look? The coolest and most interesting looking reptile man out there. Number 8. Validus. Validus is a member of the Fatal Five, a team of villains opposing the Legion of Superheroes. Validus is the best Fatal Five member in my opinion, and in fact my very favorite Legion rogue. This is a lot due to his visual design. Just look at this weirdness. Validus is a giant purple alien monster with no face save for a mouth and an exposed brain. What a design. It immediately stands out and catches your eye. Validus definitely sports one of the most unique designs in the entire DC universe. I don't like his 1970s look though, when they used to draw him with eyes and a nose. The whole point is that he isn't supposed to have a face, just a mouth and a big brain. That is what makes his visage so strange and bizarre. Giving him a face takes away from that. Luckily we don't see that design very often and we mostly get this awesomeness. The more monstrous he is, the better too. Validus almost looks like a horror monster. He kinda reminds me of a xenomorph or the Chatterer from Hellraiser. Of course Validus predates both of those. His monstrous look becomes even more effective when you realize how innocent he really is. He is just a child trapped inside his beastly form. And naturally I love purple, and purple also goes really well with white. Number 7. Lord Pumpkin. In case you haven't noticed yet, I really like the Lord Pumpkin. And how could I not? Just look at this dude. A weird pumpkin man wearing a snazzy purple pinstriped suit and a blue cape. If you don't know who the Lord Pumpkin is, I suggest you watch my video on the character, as well as my Sludge video. Lord Pumpkin is neither DC nor Marvel. He's actually a Malibu Comics character. However, Marvel bought Malibu ages ago, so I suppose he is a Marvel character after all. But then again, Marvel hasn't done jack squat with their Malibu characters, so... Regardless, Lord Pumpkin looks simply awesome. I like all characters that sport pumpkin heads, like Spider-Man's Jack-O-Lantern and Jack Pumpkinhead from the Oz books. But in my opinion, Lord Pumpkin pulls off that look the best. There's many different factors to it too. His face is very expressive, despite being a pumpkin, and he can display many different emotions with that carved out visage. Sinister glee, anger, sadness, and so on. His mouth is also oozing this magical green glow, which is naturally a neat visual. And of course his darn outfit, a classic mobster styled suit, and for some reason a cape. He's not just a mobster, he's a very theatrical and flamboyant mobster. But what else would you expect from a magical being who comes to Earth to play mobster just for fun? Number 6. Johnny Sorrow. So here we have another very stylish rogue. Do I even need to explain why I love Johnny Sorrow's design so much? I mean, just look at it. Look at that floating red mask, that empty red suit just floating in the air. The guy is just a floating suit and mask. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. He's kind of got an invisible man thing going on, but of course 10 times cooler. Just like purple and green are, red is another great color for villains. We don't really see that many villains with a red color scheme though. It seems like heroes use it a lot more. The Flash, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and even Superman. It's actually a bit strange, as red is the color of the devil, and it can also symbolize rage. Anyway, red suits Johnny perfectly. In fact, I wouldn't want him sporting any other color. I would love to see Guillermo del Toro do a movie with Johnny, considering his amazing visuals in the Hellboy films. Johnny would be a perfect character for his style. Number 5. The Scarecrow. Good old Johnny Crane. Scarecrow characters are, just like Pumpkinhead characters, simply great looking. There's just something about the visual of a scarecrow, and naturally a living scarecrow is even better. Among all these living scarecrow characters, I think the most famous one is also the best one, Batman's Scarecrow. Not just as a character, but also visually. Of course, I've talked about this many times in the past. I love Crane, you all know that, and part of why I like him so much is because of his visual. Scarecrows are fairly versatile though, and can sport numerous different looks. Crane is no exception to this rule, and on this list, he's probably the one who changes appearances the most often. Crane can in fact look radically different depending on the version. The Scarecrow motif is of course always present, and no matter what he looks like, he usually looks fantastic. The basic design though, a lanky man in a brown straw outfit, sporting a creepy mask and a wide-brimmed hat, is the most iconic, and really what I consider to be the Scarecrow look. Number 4. Mysterio. My favorite Spider-Man villain, and that is a lot due to his design. In fact, let's be honest here, it's only because of his design. I would have liked Mysterio anyway, but without this fantastic, eye-catching costume, he sure as hell wouldn't have been my number 1. So where do we even begin? Well, let's start with the greatest part of Mysterio's costume, the domed head. If I'm going to be honest here, the domed head is what makes Mysterio's costume so good. The rest really just enhances it. Without the dome, he would have been okay looking, but not so awesome that he ranks as my freaking number 4 here. Having a dome for a head is such a great visual. It's strange, it's eerie, it's alien, it's bizarre, it's mysterious. Some say it's goofy. In fact, the comics themselves even said that in the character's very first appearance. I guess, depending on how you look at it, it is kinda goofy. It's certainly comic booky anyway. As for the rest of the outfit, Beck sports a green bodysuit with squares and a big purple cape. So not only do we get the dome, but also my 2 favorite colors. Yeah, it's pretty tough to beat Mysterio's amazing visuals. Let's move on now though and see which ones did. Number 3. The Parasite. So here we have my favorite Superman villain. Just like Mysterio, I also ranked this guy as my number 1 because of his visual design. Again, I would have liked him anyway, but certainly not enough to be my very favorite. I think it's pretty self-explanatory why I'm such a big fan of the Parasite's design. Do I need to repeat the fact I love purple? Well, here we got an all-purple monster. An absolutely awesome looking purple monster. Depending on the artist, the Parasite's face can be pretty damn terrifying. A sort of melting alien skull face or something. something. I'm not quite sure how to explain it, but I guess it's pretty unnecessary as you can see it for yourself. Of course, we also have more monstrous and hulking versions of the Parasite, and I love those designs as well. The Parasite very rarely look bad. I guess the only occurrence of a poorly designed Parasite was back in the 1980s, when they gave him a more human face. I don't like that look, as he basically just looks like a bald, naked, purple dude. Then of course there's the early appearances of the Rudy Jones Parasite who look like this. That is pretty damn awful. But disregarding the 1980s, the Parasite has always sported the coolest visual design in the entire Superman Rogues gallery. By far. Number 2. The Joker. Creepy clowns. Who the hell doesn't like the look of a creepy evil clown? Among the creepy evil clowns in comic books, the king is of course the Joker. The thing about the Joker is though that he doesn't just look like any old ordinary creepy clown. The Joker's appearance is very unique. Most evil clowns go with the traditional circus clown look, but not the Joker. Instead of having a round fat face like clowns usually do, the Joker has a bony elongated face. The Joker also skips the classic round red nose, instead opting for a long pointy nose that is as white as the rest of his face. He also doesn't have the traditional painted on smile, instead going for a giant grotesque grin with thin red lips. The outfit is very different too from a circus clown. The Joker's clothes are very stylish and looks like the getup of a sophisticated gentleman. But of course the colors are completely garish and bright. It's mainly purple though, not the more common clown colors like red and yellow. And let's not forget his gorgeous head of green hair, more trimmed and groomed than the usual frizzy afros that clowns often sport. In short, the Joker is a creepy clown, which in of itself is a great visual. But he's also a fantastically unique looking clown, a beast all its own. How can I not absolutely love that? But as awesome looking as the Joker is, there's one that's even awesomer looking than him, and that is TwoFace. Yeah, it's TwoFace. I think we all saw that coming. I've mentioned this before many times too. The design of TwoFace is a big part of why I'm so obsessed with the character. It's just so damn good. Of course there are plenty other aspects of TwoFace that I love too, but we're not here to talk about that today. Today we're only talking visuals. As for visuals, TwoFace is the king, and I mean of all visuals, not just comic book villains. I can't think of any better character design in any form of media. Movies, video games, animation. I've tried, but I just can't think of any. TwoFace is simply the best looking guy in the universe, ironically. A normal looking man on one side and a hideous grotesque monster on the other. The split look is just pure genius. Yet it's pretty simple when you think about it. And it's kinda strange that no other character claimed this look before Harvey. I mean, he basically owns it now. Whenever you see this split design in anything else, you immediately think TwoFace. What I also love about TwoFace, besides his face, or faces, is his suit. What if they had given him some two-toned costume instead? Like a pair of tights or something. That would have been nowhere near as cool as a two-toned suit. He's stylish and bizarre at the same time, just like the Joker. And there you have it, my top 10 supervillain designs. I of course love a ton of other villain designs too, and here are just a few of them. The Riddler, Venom, Atrocitus, Ruby Thursday, Gentleman Ghost, Mystique, Black Manta, The Spot, The Time Trapper. Let me know your favorite villain designs in the comments. And as always, remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.